Hello, everyone. This is Stacy. Welcome to The Landing. Welcome back to The Landing, where the stories remind us that no matter how far we roam, home is always calling. Today's guest is someone incredibly special, a man born and raised down east with roots that stretch deep into the salt marshes, working waters, and close-knit traditions of this beloved place. His life has been shaped by the values so familiar to our communities: hard work, humility, unwavering faith, service, and a genuine love for people. Known for his tremendous faith, strong work ethic, and servant's heart, he has spent his life pouring into others while remaining deeply grounded in the values that raised him. He is someone who has always soaked in the beauty, strength, and lessons of his surroundings, allowing the tides, traditions, and people of Down East to shape the very core of who he is. Salt, water, faith, and service run through his soul. Though his journey has carried him far beyond these shores, his love for home has never wavered. Down East is more than where he's from. It's the foundation of his character, the source of his strength, and the place that continues to call him back. Join me for a heartfelt conversation with a man whose story is one of legacy, dedication, and deep roots. A true reflection of what it means to carry Down East with you wherever life may lead. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Landing. You are in for a treat today. I have with me someone who I have admired for a very long time, and I am extremely honored to have him with us and for him to have carved out a little bit of time for us today to share his story. So without further ado, sir, if you'll tell us your name and who's your crowd and where you are from.
Well, thanks, Stacy. Um, I'm Kerry Willis. I'm from Red Hill on Harkers Island, North Carolina, and I'm the son of Billy and Melba Willis, the grandson of Gray and Margie Willis. And I could go on because family's everything, but that's my crowd. I got a couple of brothers, Billy Joe and Stephen, and grew up along the shores of Rush Point.
Yep. And is that where you are right now?
I'm along the shore at Harkers Island. So
Yeah.
if you hear any noises, they'll be good noises. I just heard some geese fly over honking. So that made me feel right at home. There's a little breeze here today. But I just happened to be on the island. I live away now, but I happen to be here today.
I love it. I love it so much. Yep, folks, you heard it right. This is Kerry, and he is back visiting, and so many people are excited to see him and hear him tomorrow at church. So we'll get into that a little bit, I'm sure. So, Kerry, how long are you home to visit?
Well, we got in on Thursday evening, and we'll leave, Lord willing, sometime Monday. So it's a little extra stay for us. We generally get 2 days, but we're getting a little older now. I got my Medicare card last week, so we're getting a little more room in our schedule. Even though I'm not retired, but I am pulling the throttle back.
I totally understand that. I do. Oh my goodness. Well, Carrie, if you will, take us back a little bit to what it was like growing up on the island, and especially at Red Hill, at that part of the island, because you were at the western and I was at the eastern.
Yeah, well, we grew up in God's country, in my opinion.
Yes.
My humble opinion. Um, but we grew up when you still had neighborhoods, and You had a lot of friends. We played outdoors. I lived in the day when the mothers and fathers locked their kids out of the house, uh, not in the house. And we grew up there in the neighborhood, had so many friends. We did just about everything together. We had fun together, got in trouble together. All of that kind of went along the shoreline. We spent a lot of time where we call it Aunt May's Landing. Some people call it Rush Point. Both of those are there together, and Johns Creek, which is my great grandfather's namesake. So my whole crowd of Willises grew up right there on Red Hill. At one time, my grandfather John owned all of Johns Creek. Uh, he divvied the lots out to his children. He had plenty of them, I think about 8.
Oh, wow.
Uh, some of them still live along the shorelines there, and some sold theirs and moved other places. But that's kind of where I was raised. And we had the sand hole,
Oh, yes.
which is still there
Yes.
behind the Seaside Galley now. We spent a lot of time in the sand hole. It was, a child's paradise. We just loved playing and searching and hunting, and we played a lot of army out there.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That is so
Uh,
true.
we pulled wooden skiffs along the shoreline, did a lot of swimming, a lot of clamming. That's kind of the way I grew up. I started working at the fish house down the Elmo Gaskell. I think it was Elmo Gaskell was running it. I believe it's right at the time. No, not Elmo Gaskell. Let me fix that.
Yep.
Elmo Murphy was running the fish house along the shoreline there when I first started working at the fish house. And Byron Humans also had owned it for a while. We would come home from school. I mean, this is 6th, 7th grade. And the first ones that got to the fish house would get hired for the day, for the rest of the day. And my house was about the closest of all the neighborhood kids. So I usually got hired.
And
And,
that's really changed now because people aren't racing to go to work, are they?
that's
You
right.
know,
We
that
wanted to
age.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad and granddad, when I was very young, 5, 6, 7, they had owned the Scallop House there. At least they leased it. They ran the Scallop House. So I grew up around the Scallop House, Fish House. It had a lot of owners. But I worked there until I was 15. And I got a call one night while I was at the Fish House, and Elmo Murphy came and he said, "Kerry, you got a phone call." And I went to the phone. It was Mom. And she said, "Billy Best just called from the supermarket and he wants to hire you."
Oh, my goodness.
So I was glad to get out of the fish house, actually, and go do something a little cleaner, you know.
Well,
And
Carrie, by
so,
age 15, you had been in the fish house over half your life.
yeah, I've worked since I was old enough to talk almost. And it was good for me. It really was. But I went down to Billy's that night. I went home, got a shower. Mom took me to Billy's because I was only 15.
No
And
way.
I walked in, and Billy looked at me. He had an order that needed to be delivered, and he had a delivery service with a truck, you know. I
Yeah.
said, "Well, Mr. Billy, I don't even have a driver's license." He said, "Oh my, I've hired somebody without a driver's license." I said, "Well, Mr. Billy, I really want to work for you." He said, "I'll tell you what, I need to get out of this store every once in a while, so I'll drive and you deliver."
Oh, my goodness.
So Billy Bass became my good buddy.
Oh, yes.
Worked there all through high school.
Yep. I remember you working there. I do.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. He was
dream
such a
job.
good man, such a good
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I loved Billy.
Mm-hmm.
He was good to me, you know,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
yeah.
he taught me a lot. I mean, you know, I've done a lot of leading since those days, just where a lot has fallen in my life. But I learned a lot from Billy Best at that
Mm-hmm.
supermarket.
Yep. Yep. Oh, my good. I know one of the lessons was definitely how to treat people and how to take care of people.
That's right. They
Yep.
sure did. I learned a lot of that, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we just had the whole island met at Billy Best's. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody that came on the island, lived on the island, shopped there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great experience. I got a lot of people skills
Mm-hmm.
hanging around the supermarket, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe I'd do it for life. I really did enjoy the supermarket. supermarket business, but
Mhm.
some other plans opened up. So,
Yes.
well, that was a foundational stone for me. Summers I worked with Dad. I had to leave Billy, and I had to go work on the trawler with
Mhm.
Dad.
Mhm.
But he always hired me back when school started,
Mhm.
and so that was a whole nother deal. I think I was about 13 when I started working summers with Dad,
Mhm.
and we did a lot of shrimping from Cape Lookout all the way down to McClellansville, South Carolina. We
Wow.
went wherever the shrimp were. And
Mhm.
somebody asked me the other day, if you could spend 1 week doing something you did in the past, what would you do? I said, well, I'd take a week on that trawler with my daddy.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure. Oh my
I
goodness.
didn't I didn't appreciate it back then, Stacy.
Yeah.
But man, now I would give anything to have a week in Pamlico Sound or a week
Mhm.
in McClellansville at Bulls Bay in South Carolina shrimping. Those
Mhm.
were the days.
Yep. Perspective changes everything, doesn't it?
Oh my,
Uh,
oh my! I miss
yeah.
that. I miss it a lot. Learned a lot from my daddy about leadership too.
Mhm.
There's nothing like a boat captain. I watched him under a whole lot of pressure. It really did me good. His
Mhm.
trials taught me a lot of things.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I went shrimping with my dad too, Carrie, but
Yeah.
I was little, and so I didn't really have to do a whole lot. I would, sit and play with my dolls until he was, dragging, and then I'd go
Yeah.
out and we'd sing and look at the stars, and
Well, yeah.
oh my
And
goodness.
my dad and your dad, Wayne, were
Hmm.
really good friends in high school.
Yes.
Wayne was a little younger than Dad,
Hmm.
but they sort of hung together a lot.
Hmm.
And I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, seeing the proof.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, two good men. We are so blessed.
Yes, yes, very.
Oh my goodness. Now, Carrie, I also, of course, you went to Harker's Island School when you went to East Carteret.
Yep.
Then, what did you do after East Carteret?
Well, yeah, I went to Harker's Island all 8 years. We didn't need
Hmm.
kindergarten in those days. We were so smart, they just started us in first grade. But
Hey.
those 8 years were great years, and had great teachers, had
Hmm.
great principals, and then of course went to East Carteret. Loved that.
Hmm.
My heart was kind of playing in the band. I was a drummer,
Hmm.
and so
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that a lot. And then in high school, I kind of met my would-be wife. Didn't kind of meet her, I did meet her, and that was Kim Cedarquist. She was from Sea Level,
Hmm.
and I fell in love head over heels. Still hadn't got over it, but she was the head cheerleader. I didn't think a boy from Harker's Island had a shot at that, but hey, it worked out,
It worked
and
out.
we started dating. We went to junior senior prom together when we were seniors, and she hadn't been able to get rid of me since. But after that, I in high school I was the yearbook photographer for the annual,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
yearbook, and Miss Wanda Gaskell was our yearbook editor in those days. Love her,
Oh, yes.
and I love being a photographer because I could get out of class to take pictures.
Oh,
Just to be honest, that was my favorite part.
that's what intrigued you the most at the first.
That's right. But I got me a Canon AE1 camera,
Uh-huh.
and I started taking pictures. My classmates wanted me to take their cap and gown pictures, and one thing led to another. And so after high school, I went to Randolph Technical Institute, it was then in Ashburn, North Carolina, and studied photography.
Oh, wow.
And that became my career for quite a few
Hmm.
years.
Yeah.
I left there and went to Virginia and worked with a master photographer for about 4 years and learned a whole lot from him. And then I moved back to Beaufort
Hmm.
and opened a photography studio.
Hmm.
And Kim and I were in that studio. We had partners from New Bern, but we were in that studio from, I believe it was 1984 until 1992.
Yep. You took
So
my
we,
senior pictures.
I remember, I can see you, beautiful, beautiful then, beautiful now.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we had a really, really productive business. People just
Mhm.
supported us. We did a lot of
Mhm.
weddings,
Mhm.
all the school pictures at East Carteret, some at West Carteret. I
Yep.
did all the sports photographs and
Yep.
activity things, for the yearbook and
Mhm.
annual. So we
Mhm.
were very blessed in that business. The local people just made us, effective.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that
You
was a
were.
that was a part of our life for sure.
Mhm.
And we loved it. We built a home in Tiffany Woods in
Mhm.
Beaufort,
Mhm.
and we actually built, I think, the first or second home there. And so we were really enjoying our time, and had a boy and a girl while
Mhm.
we were in those years. Grayson's our son. He's 39 now. I can
Oh
hardly
my
say that.
goodness.
And Allison is our daughter. She's 37.
Wow.
So, but they were born in Carteret County
Mhm.
at Carteret General.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So they've not lived here much of their life, but they are true to the bone, born in Carteret County.
Well, it's funny because I have two. I have a daughter and a son, and of course Davis is my oldest, and he was
Yeah.
born right there, Carter General, lived on the island. Then came Darcy 2 years later, born at Carter General, lived on the island for a few years. Then we moved away, but if you ask them where they're from, they don't
Yep.
lie, but
Yep.
they are from Harker's Island.
That's right. That's home, and
That is.
it's always my home. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, my calling has kind of took me in other places, but I know where to return. I heard a saying years ago. It said, if you don't remember where you came from, you won't know where you're going, and you won't know who you are once you get there.
Oh, I like that. I like
So
that.
I've said that a lot through the years.
Uh-huh. That's so
I
true.
don't want to forget my roots, island
Hmm.
roots. I say that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Now, Carrie, tell us a little bit, because most folks folks who know a little bit of course, where you've been, but tell us how you were led to move away and what you've been up to.
Well, when I was in photography, I just had a deep sense that there was going to be a shift in my future. I
Uh-huh.
love photography. I wasn't really looking to get out of it. But I was raised in the church, and that was a huge part of who we were.
Hmm.
Mom came from Davis Shore. My grandparents were Lloyd and Irene Davis, and Mom had a real heart for the church. And
Hmm.
of course, Dad and Granddaddy Gray and Grandma Margie, Granny Margie, she would die if I called her Grandma, Granny Margie. So it was a big part of our life, was being a part of the Free Grace Church on the Ferry Dock Road.
Hmm.
So that was like family to me,
Hmm.
and it had a big impact. And some of the people who came to preach and all of that had big impact, big influence on me. And when I moved to Virginia to do photography, Kim and I got pretty involved in the local church there,
Hmm.
leading teenagers and things like that. And so we soon knew that there might be another call, maybe a higher call
Yes,
on our life. And so
definitely.
we came back to Carteret County, though, after we were in Virginia for a while, and still did the photography studio and all of that. But we kind of knew all along that probably something was going to change. We didn't know exactly what.
Hmm.
And then just it came to me that we should give it a shot and see. We were young, and you're only young once. So
Yeah.
I told Kim, why don't we, pray about and think about, talk about, leaving everything and going to Bible college.
Hmm.
And so we came to a yes on all of that.
Wow.
And we went to Colorado Springs, Colorado, where there was a Bible college there that
Hmm.
it kind of took families in, not just students.
Oh,
It
wow.
was more of a family-based Bible college where you worked full time and you had to raise children. So they
Hmm.
had day and night classes, so you could come whichever day or night works for you that week.
Hmm. Oh, wow.
Uh, so that worked out good for us, and
Hmm.
so we were there for the time that was needed, and we were done with school. And the first church to issue us a call to come and be the pastor was actually in the town where I had been a photographer in Virginia.
No
uh,
way.
yeah, it's a crazy story.
Oh, me.
Where we had worked with teenagers when we were, in our early 20s,
Oh,
and
my
that
goodness.
church had not forgotten us. So
Uh-huh.
uh, when we came on the market, so to speak,
Uh-huh.
they put a bid in for us, I guess you'd say, and we
Wow.
actually went back to the same town, the Shenandoah Valley of
Wow.
Virginia, and I would pastor there for 24 years
Oh, my
in
goodness.
that local congregation. We just
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of we had a lot of blessing, a lot of fortune leading there.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to the church, there were about 120 folk that were gathering, and on our last Sunday, 24 years later, there were 1,200.
What?
So,
10
yeah,
times more?
yeah, the Lord gave us a real gathering blessing.
Wow.
So we just became part of the community, and the stuff I learned on the boat with Daddy, and the stuff I learned at the fish house, and the stuff
Mm-hmm.
I learned at the supermarket, the stuff I learned at the local church,
Yep.
it all turned into investment. And
Mm-hmm.
so we did that for 24 years,
Wow.
and then I got a call to be what we call a district superintendent in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area.
Mm-hmm.
So we felt like that was right next step for us. So I just finished 7.5 years leading on that district where I oversaw about 60 churches.
Wow.
And we got to live in Cape May, New Jersey,
Ooh.
uh, which was a little bit like coming home,
Yes.
lived on the shore there. That was
Yes.
a real blessing because we didn't know if we would ever live back on the shore anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of what they call the Philadelphia district, Cape May.
Mm-hmm.
And I was drawn to Cape May because Daddy was there in the Coast Guard
Yep.
in like 1959, 1960, and I'd heard him talk about Cape May.
Uh-huh.
And so we got to live there for about 7.5 years. And just this past November, the church where I was at 24 years gave me an opportunity to come back on the staff and support the new pastor. So we moved back there to the Shenandoah Valley again, and I'm still working full time,
Wow.
but it's a little different pressure, than what
Oh,
I had.
my goodness.
So that's the
Carrie.
quick story. That's the quick story.
Uh,
And every year, Stacy, I've come for I don't know, maybe it's 32 or 3 years now. Karen Anspacher would give me the opportunity to come down to
mm-hmm.
the church service at the museum. She'd
Mm-hmm.
always say we're going to have church,
Yep.
and
And that's
so I've been the
waterfowl weekend,
speaker.
right?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Waterfowl Weekend. I've been the speaker there for 22, 23. I mean 32. I've been the speaker there 32, 33 years.
Wow.
And I always say to Karen, you can get somebody else. She said, just keep coming. So far, I've built quite a friendship there, met
Yes.
people, of course, from the island, but from, all around the state and
Yes.
everywhere. And, David Lawrence was one of my very best friends in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he got me wrapped into the decoy idea. I
Yeah.
didn't care much about decoys. I hadn't ever been duck hunting in life because all we did was shrimp and fish.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but David was my friend, and that was kind of his language, decoys and
Yep.
waterfowl.
Yep.
And so David and I did a little coloring book together where I wrote the story and he illustrated the book. It's called The Blue Goose Christmas Story.
Really?
And yeah, it came out years ago. I
Uh,
think it's been 35 years now, maybe. But David and I, they put it in the newspaper and told all about the Blue Goose Christmas Story, told about our friendship, and that just bound us together tighter.
yes.
So David and Karen kind of got me involved, and I started collecting decoys. Lord have mercy. And Kim always says, you don't have room for another decoy. I said, there's always room for one more decoy.
Just one more. Yep.
Yeah, always room. And I have started actually selling a few because
Mhm.
I got a smaller home now. But some of the first decoys I got were 6 little miniatures from your daddy,
From Wayne Davis.
Wayne
Uh-huh.
Davis. Yep, they're on my shelf there at the
Uh,
house still. I
I
know they're
love it.
collector's items.
I
Um,
love it.
but they're not for sale. There's certain decoys are not for sale.
Yeah,
Uh, but
absolutely.
I just have a lot of friendship in the decoy community. I just kind of fell in love with the carvers.
Mhm. Mhm.
And people say, "Well, why'd you buy this duck?" I said, "Well, I like Houston Lewis, man. I
Mhm.
just I like
Yeah.
the duck, but I wanted to help Houston, and I could
Mhm.
keep naming names
Oh
I want.
yeah. Yeah.
But I just made so many friends in that waterfowl community. And when I
Mhm.
went to New Jersey, I connected with the decoy people up there.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, got some friends up there now.
Oh,
They
I
were
love it.
surprised that a preacher can name all these different species of ducks.
Right. That's a
I
hidden
owe
talent.
I owe that to David Lawrence. David Lawrence and I took a trip to Chincoteague one time, spent 2 or 3 days, and he took me to a duck pond there where this man had just about every species of ducks you could think of, had them clipped, so
Uh-huh.
they couldn't fly away. And I remember the day was kind of ending, and David would not let me leave until I could name every species in that pond. And I'm telling you, that was a gift
Oh,
because
yes. Yes.
everywhere I go, in New Jersey, Cape May is the top
Mhm.
bird sanctuary in the country.
Oh, wow.
And I would take friends down there, and I would take my binoculars and tell them, "There's the gadwalls, there are the Weegians," and they're like, "Well, how do you know this?" And they always had to get the David Lawrence lesson.
Love it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Daddy would play that game with me. We'd go somewhere and he's like, "We're not leaving until you can tell me what that is." And I was like,
You got
"Oh,
to know your ducks. If you're from Harker's Island, you got to know your ducks.
gotta know the ducks. It's very important."
Uh, and David taught me, he said, "Now, if I ever hear you say Canadian goose, I'm going to hit you." He said, it's not Canadian goose, it's Canada goose.
It's a
He
Canada
said,
goose.
they are not residents of Canada. He said, they are not Canadians, they are Canada geese. He made me talk about it. If I was going to be his friend, I had to get that right.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. I feel your pain, but it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then once I
Uh,
had it mastered, it was a party trick. Like I love to pull it
uh-huh.
out, you know.
Oh yeah, you kind of show it off from time to
Oh,
time,
for
but you
sure.
you try to be as humble as you can. Uh, but it's good to know ducks. I love ducks. It's the way I stay connected, Stacy, to my heritage.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived up in the Valley Mountain area, for the last many years, except when I
Mm-hmm.
was at Cape May. But being involved with the decoy festival and the waterfowl weekend and having my
Mm-hmm.
decoys just kind of kept me connected to home.
Oh yes. Yes.
So I appreciate the opportunity I've had every December to come down. And now, of course, for the last few years, I've shared that service with David's son, Corey
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
And Corey's kind of like my adopted son,
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of grew up in his living room because David and I were friends, and David had his gallery and all that in the
Yeah.
living room there at Twin Oaks at the Western.
Yep.
And I watched Corey grow up, and proud of him and his
Mm-hmm.
his boys, and they're doing a lot of carving.
Oh yes. Oh yes. What a
Yeah.
what a wonderful guy Corey is for sure.
Yeah.
Um, how how does being away so long now, how does that change how you see home? Because I know how it has impacted me, but how has it changed home for you?
Well, it hasn't changed my love for home.
Hmm.
Just yesterday, my brother Billy Joe, to most people listening to this, Billy Joe brought some men from the church he pastors. All three of us are pastors.
Yes.
Billy Joe and Stephen. That's mom. She wouldn't quit praying, so that's how that happened. But Billy Joe happened to be here. We didn't plan to be here at the same time, but he had about 16 men from the church he pastors in Kingsport, Tennessee, and he brought them here to the island for a retreat.
Oh
And so
wow.
just yesterday, I went on the ferry, the passenger ferry. Captain Richard, uh,
Yes.
he got a boat just for Billy Joe's group and myself, and he
Uh-huh.
took us over in the hook and took us along Shackleford. We saw the horses and
Oh wow.
took us over to see Sally's old store. And of
Uh-huh.
course, the lighthouse right now has a bird cage over it because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
restoring it. But well, I sat in the back of that boat with those two Yamahas humming,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt like a boy again.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as how it's changed me, Harker's Island is still in my heart, always in my mind. And one man told me in Virginia one day, you wouldn't have any good stories to share in your preaching if your daddy hadn't been a fisherman. So we keep that alive, in our preaching and
Mhm.
in our sharing.
Mhm.
If you were to walk in anywhere the three of us would preach, you would feel like that you were in Harker's Island because we talked so much about it. So then we had to bring men from our church because we talked so much about it. They want to come see it.
Uh-huh.
And so
Uh-huh.
back in 1995, I was the first of the three boys to bring a men's retreat to the coast of
Mhm.
North Carolina, and I did it for over 25 years.
Wow.
The last one of the years we came, we would go to Ocracoke or Harker's Island, sometimes both. And I
Mhm.
think one of the last years, I had 130 men come.
No way.
Yeah, so they fell in love also with what I loved, and
Wow.
that first year we came, Dad was still living, and he took his second trawler, the Lady Melba, named after Mama,
Mhm.
and he took the 19 of us that first year and took us to the Hook of the Cape, like Richard did yesterday. It was kind of a memory for me of that year
Uh-huh.
when Dad took us all. So we don't get too far from our upbringing. Um,
Wow.
we like to say we don't know if the island will quit claiming us, but we won't quit claiming the island.
Never. Never. I
We have
know.
held on to our accent a little bit,
Yep.
we haven't lost it totally.
No, and
Sometimes when I come home, people say, Kerry, you sound a little prissy. I'm like, oh my gracious, but I can kick it in any moment I need to.
well,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
Daddy, he would tell you that too, some things. But I can tell there's sometimes when you've been telling stories and you've mentioned Rush Point or you've mentioned there's that twang right in there that I love.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Sometimes people want me to turn the high tide accent on, and I have zero trouble going straight back to
Oh yes,
it.
100%. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, Carrie, if you had some advice that you could give to somebody who was trying to find their purpose, because it sounds like to me from early on you kind of were in tune with that. What's the key to that, or what's some advice that you have? Because I think you're a good one to ask.
Well, I think it's probably obvious if you follow me on Facebook,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
not everybody does. I
Mhm.
used to ask the question, Stacy, who am I? That was a big
Mhm.
question. I think
Mhm.
everybody struggles with that, trying to figure out who am I
Yeah.
in this big world,
Yep.
And I found out for my own life that I had to find out whose am I.
Mm.
And when I found out that I belonged to the Lord, Jesus,
Mhm.
it seemed like all the who am I kind of got answered.
Oh.
And so, in some ways, I would say that I sort of surrendered my dreams in a way for my own life,
Mhm.
believing that God had a plan that would be much better than anything I could ever dream.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of proven to be true, not kind of, it has
Mhm.
proven to be true. I remember one time I was standing in the front yard on Harker's Island. I couldn't have been more 8 or 9 years old. And I saw a big, 747 plane fly over or
Mhm.
something, some big plane. And I remember thinking, who in the world flies in those planes and where do they go? As
Uh-huh.
an island boy, it was something I thought I'll never do.
Yeah.
But because I kind of found out who I belonged to, found out he had a plan for my life that was better than my own. One things I do that is most meaningful is I've been to the Holy Land 16 times, and
Wow.
I take people on journeys there, to talk
Mhm.
about the Bible and all of that. And every time I board those big planes now, I can think about that day in the front yard
Oh,
that
man.
I thought, I'll never go anywhere.
Mhm.
Now, I think that there's nowhere better you can go than Harker's Island.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm a little bit jealous of people who just are landlocked here.
I
Uh,
know.
but I have seen the world,
Yeah.
a lot of it, and the Lord has used my life in whatever way He chooses to
Mhm.
have some measure of influence on all kinds of people groups.
Mhm.
That would have never happened if I hadn't kind of said yes to what He had planned, rather than clinging tightly to what I was dreaming.
Yeah.
And He let me live a lot of my dreams. I always wanted to be a photographer,
Mhm.
and He gave me great success in that. And even with the awards that I received in my photography, I
Mhm.
kind of lived a full life the years I was a photographer in LA.
Yeah.
And then I kind of started another life.
Mhm.
But it was like the two lives blended together. And
Mhm.
I don't have any regrets really. I believe that for my life, I believe I found the way forward.
Mhm.
But like
Mhm.
I said, I'm grateful. I never got arrogant about it.
Mhm.
I've stayed as humble as possible because I know where I came from. And when people ask me in a sentence, who are you? I
Mhm.
say, I'm the son of a fisherman and I'm a fisherman for the sun.
Oh, I love that, Carrie.
Yeah, so I'll never forget. I owe a great debt to the
Mhm.
fisherman life.
Yes.
I mean, it fed me, it clothed me, it taught me, it loved me,
Yeah.
and everything that's associated with that. So when I
Mhm.
see people at the decoy festival or the waterfowl weekend, it's like we never parted.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're so kind to me still, and I always let them know how much they invested in my life
Mhm.
and how much I love them. I
Mhm.
saw your mama one day, and I was leaving the first time to go to Colorado, and I went in Seaside, and your mama was in there.
Uh-huh.
Lana, I love Lana.
Oh,
I
yes.
always thought, and still haven't seen her lately. I always thought Lana was one of the most beautiful ladies in the world.
I
And
agree.
she and I just had a great tender talk in there about
Mhm.
how we loved each other. And that's just an example
Mhm.
of people. We have, differences and all of that. Everybody does. But
Mhm.
when you come from the island, there's something that holds us together.
Mhm.
And it's the heritage of who we are and the
Mhm.
life that we've been blessed to have and our crowd.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I keep remembering, and it's difficult sometimes. I wish I was at Shell Point,
Yeah.
a lot of times, and I go there in my mind.
Yeah.
But it's always good to have a place to come home. And of course, Mom still lives on the island.
Mhm.
All of us have gone other places, but she's 84 and still able to live in the home place. And we look after her, and she got a lot
Mhm.
of good friends that look after her better than we do. But Mom has no interest in leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
She came from Davis, but she became a Harkers Islander. Uh,
Yep.
but we'll talk to her sometimes about, Mom, now do you want to go live with us somewhere? She says, not until I have to. So she's doing everything she can to stay, independent. And
Yes.
so that brings us home. We try to come, each the three of us kind of divvy up the seasons.
Mhm.
And we make sure we get home to see Mom on a pretty regular basis.
Mhm.
Um, but so it's still home for us. We still have an address, 398 Island Road. We can still lay our head down there and say, this is home for us.
I love
And
that.
we hope we never have to sell it. We hope that our children and grandchildren will
Mhm.
always have a place to say, well, we got the place at the island, the home
Yep.
place.
Yep. Amen to that. Amen to that for sure. Uh, well, Carrie, this has been wonderful. Is there anything that you'd like to share that we haven't touched on?
No, I love your podcast.
Oh,
I've listened many times. I haven't listened to all of them,
uh-huh.
but I think it's a great gift. My son has a podcast that he does for the local church. I pastored so many years,
Uh-huh.
and we get people's stories from the church.
Oh, I love
And
it.
he's been doing that since 2009, I guess it is. And so
Wow.
he's got this archive of stories of people in our family, our church family,
Mm-hmm.
and people request them every once in a while because people, go on, they pass this
Yes.
world.
Yes.
And I think that that'll be one of the greatest gifts of your podcast is
Mm-hmm.
that you'll have stories for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
So keep a good log of them all.
Yep.
Don't let them get away from you. I think you're doing a great service to the people of Down East and the island, and you do a good job of mixing it up and getting all kinds of people. And your spirit is just a real sweet spirit. I think that you were made to do this. So
Oh,
I'm glad you are. And I think one of my brothers was kind of fond of you, but I'm not going to go there.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
I love him right smart good too. Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
this has been so much fun and it's a labor of love, but
yeah,
I hope that people when they listen, they feel the love in all the stories because
yeah.
that's why we're doing it is to preserve home. And speaking of your brothers, I'm going to try to get up with them too, and touch base with them. And
They can correct all the stuff I didn't get right.
but see, but you're on the record first,
That's
so
right. That's right.
you know how
Well,
that's.
sometimes I listen just to hear your voice
Oh,
because you haven't lost one bit of your accent.
okay. Quick little story. When I
Yep.
first married Daryl, who's not
Uh-huh.
from home,
Yeah.
um, I thought he was so smart because we lived away, and I would be talking to mom or daddy, and he'd walk in the room or walk in from outside, and without anything, he'd say, "Tell your mom I said hey." And I'm like, "How in the world?" Because this was before speaker phones and stuff.
Yes.
And then it hit me one time. I was like, "Daryl, how do you always know that I'm talking to mom or daddy?" He says, "Stacy, honey, your whole voice changes. Said you speak a different language when you're talking to them."
That's a true story. We have the special language that we only speak around one another.
That's right. That is exactly right. Well, Carrie, I love you. I always
Yep,
have.
I love
And
you. Love
and
your
I
crowd.
yeah, love your crowd very much. And enjoy the rest of your visit.
Yep. Well, if you ever need someone, I don't need to be needed, but you got my phone number now.
I do. You're in a scrape.
That's a mess, ain't it? I'll be Mom now.
You're gonna be mama. That's right. Well,
Bless
kiss your
you.
mama and
Yeah.
go enjoy your family.
Yep. It's going to be a good weekend.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for joining us to The Landing. This podcast is brought to you by the Core Sound Waterfowl Museum and Heritage Center. Tune in next week as we continue learning, sharing, and remembering together. If you'd like to hear more, check out our previous episodes where you get your podcasts. If you or someone you know is interested in being on The Landing, please reach out through the link in the description. Until then, stay safe and be kind.